What's up guys, this is Scud Manche and today we're gonna do active release techniques for your bicep muscle. A time ago I made a video about some of my favorite bicep stretches and I got people asking me, can I do one on active release technique or trigger point release techniques for bicep muscle. So bicep muscle is interesting because in arm wrestling we use it all the time around the table. So it supinates the arm inwards and it bends the arm in the elbow. Sometimes guys will come to the gym and they will say, I have shoulder pain, my shoulder hurts here or my chest hurts. And we go through the motions and we check and shoulder is fine, chest is fine. I say, then it's bicep. If the bicep is too tight, it can cause pain not only in your shoulder, but also in your elbow and in your wrist. So I like to do these techniques from time to time just to get my bicep up in check. The one funny thing is that I noticed from the guys that are doing bicep release techniques is after doing these they gain a few centimeters on their bicep measurements just because they're letting loose of a tight muscle and it's getting bigger. It's always been big, but it's been so tight that it's caught up and you cannot release it completely just by stretching. So today again I'm going to show you 3 of my favorite bicep release techniques. So for first one we can use physio balls. If you don't have any of these, you can get tennis ball. Again, I put link in description where you can order this from Amazon.com. It's cheap and these ones help me a lot with all the kinds of muscle release techniques that I'm doing. My neck gets tight, my forearms get tight, so I'm using these constantly. It's really good investment and it costs basically nothing. And for the third technique, we're gonna use foam roller. We have different kinds of foam roller. I'm going to show you with this one. This is a little bit softer. It's a little bit lighter. Again, link is in description where you can find this. Again, in my opinion, physio balls and foam rollers are really good investment for your health. If you have any kind of tight muscles in your back, in your legs, it doesn't matter. These work like magic. Let's get to the first technique. So for first one, we're going to use Scud Manche. This is where we work our biceps, so we need to release it in the same way. It's really easy to do it here. So when we're talking about bicep, mostly all the trigger points are here or here. Sometimes they will get in the middle, but mostly it's in this area and closer to the shoulder. So all you need to do is press it, put your weight into it, and then slowly go around. So I found the trigger point here. From here I will do circle motions about 6-7 times, let's say in clockwise direction, and then in the opposite direction. So I can already feel that it's letting loose. Or you can find a little bit tighter spots. And from here again you're doing just moving up and down and from side to side, from side to side. The big ball helps me to get a little larger area of my arm. So if I find really tight spots, I work it out with this ball. So you need to have more effect on this, try to pronate your arm because bicep is a supinator muscle. So to get more out of this, try to pronate your arm and extend your arm. So your bicep is released. If you start doing this with your arm bent a little bit and your forearm flexed and supinated, you're not gonna get into your bicep as good as if it's released. So like this, extend it, pronate it, and then work around it. So I don't feel any spots here. I can go a little bit lower, closer to my shoulder, and here I find one, and again, circular motions up and down and from side to side. Easiest variation is with tennis ball. They're cheap, but they're not as good as physio balls. And physio balls will last a lot longer. But again, if you have pain in your arm, in your shoulders, wherever you want to do some active release techniques, get this as a first help and then later get a physio ball. The first technique that we used was more of a massage movement. Here we're going to do active release. Active release means we're going to add pressure to our trigger point and then we're going to work out the muscle. We're going to let the muscle do all the work. So first I'm finding a spot where there is some tightness here. I feel there is a trigger point here. So I'm bending my arm it's a little bit in supinated motion, and from here I'm pronating it and extending it. And slowly doing this, and each time I feel less and less of a tightness in my muscle. The trigger point, slowly, it's gone. I find another one and I work it out as well. I like to combine all of these together. I don't like to do just one when I'm working. So because sometimes when you're doing massage techniques, you cannot get that pressure inside like with this one. Here I'm really pushing my arm into a squat rack, into a ball, and then trying to work it out. And each time I'm doing this, the pain goes away. So we just did 2 active release techniques for your bicep. Link is in the description where you can find these 2, and I think any sports goods store will have tennis ball. I think every supermarket will have tennis ball, so I recommend at least getting tennis ball. It will not last as long, but it will help. For last technique, as I said, we need a foam roller and just a flat surface. You can do this on a bench, you can do it on floor. So take a foam roller, put your arm over it, all the way out, and pronate it, extend it. And from here, going from side to side. I like to do it, at the start, I like to do it slowly. And then I'm adding more power into it and doing more slower motions. So if I find a spot where it's really tight, I will add extra tension to it and just stay there. This is really soft foam roller. I start with this one and end up doing with tougher ones. Because you will find those spots where it's really hard to get into it, and if it's not hard enough, you need to get a little bit harder one. My favorite of all techniques is this one. I will use this one mostly, but if I find really tight spot, I will do the other ones as well. Because this will not take out the tight spots. And tight spots means the knot will stay there and it will bring other knots back. And this is how you get rid of them. You just need to do these techniques constantly. At one point you will notice that knots are not forming. You just get rid of them. Most of the guys that I show these exercises, right away they find out their biceps are really tight. And after this, they feel a lot better. So try them out. Already leave a like under this video. I really appreciate if you would do it. If you have a chance to support this channel, if you like the videos that I'm creating, please become one of my Patreons on patreon.com. Link is in the description. Stay strong, be healthy, and love arm wrestling.